Giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem, El Shai, Hashem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 rest of your elect out there. Shalom to you all. I'll make this super quick. Hey, you got this demon out here. It says, that's right, call the cops on these Christian thugs. They try and mimic Israelites fail Christianity. Anyway, when I first saw this, I thought this guy was part of IUIC because he's got the purple and the gold, and then he got a telltale sign. He got the line up, and he got the line. He got that. That's a worldly thing, to grow a beard, have hair on your head, and to cut this part right here. Unless his hair grows like that, which I don't think so. I don't think your hair is gonna. Nobody on the earth, when they grow their hair, is gonna turn into a what we used to call a high and tight, a fade. So if this guy is part of GMS, and this guy, he looks like he's lined up. It could be wrong, but definitely he got the whoever cut his hair did that. So he shouldn't be out there representing GMS at all, period. And it makes me look like a hypocrite, because if here I am getting on I can't at this point, I can't do videos getting on IUIC about their lineups, because you got men in GMS with lineups. This goes out to you leaders out there. In GMS, starting from the apostles and the bishops, that anybody in GMS that's lined up, and I'm gonna set up a thing with the New York camp. Well, I gotta check to see if they ain't got lineups. Okay. And we're gonna find out who got lineups and who don't. If you got a lineup like this right here, you shouldn't be down with GMS, period. And you should know better. What did King David said? Let me do it this way. Let me do the cheat sheet. See, GMS also, we also refer to ourselves as the House of David. Well, let me see. A member of the House of David wouldn't have this. Like I said, I can't really see, but he looks like he's lined up. All right. Let me do this here. King David's men get their hair half cut off. Let's see what comes up. This is a cheat sheet. Yep, it came up. Let me just hit this again. All right, 2 Samuel 2, verse 4. So if you're getting lineups, you're not in the House of David, which means you're not a part of GMS. You're still a part of GMS, but you got to straighten. Let your hair grow in, and then you could come back. And look, if I spend time watching every GMS camp, there'll be a lot of shit. It might be 25% of you guys will be guilty of that. Are we following the scriptures, or are we not? Do we claim that we have 100%? So you got the apostles and you got the bishops. You got the heads, the bishops. Y'all got to do this, man. We're not politically correct Israelites. If you're doing the wrong thing, you out of there, man. And don't say that you're the House of David, because you're not going to be in the House of David. Ain't nobody going to have no lineups in the kingdom. All right? And what Jake does, they'll try things. They'll test. They'll come out do something, If nobody says something, and the brothers around, you ain't nobody saying nothing, it's cool because nobody says something. Yeah, we need a house cleaning anyway. Anyway, it says, let me read this verse, and I'll start at this verse. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Ammon and Aram defeated. And it came to pass after this, that I'll make this quick, that the king of the sons of Ammon died, brother of the Moabite, Moab and Ammon, and Hanun, his son, reigned in his stead. His son was a prince, then his son became a king. Then said David, I will show kindness unto Hanun. That shows you that it tells you in Romans, I believe it's Romans 12 and 19, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to go to it. You can put it up in the chat. It says, if it at all possible, live peacefully with all men. So this stuff that they try to demonize us, that Jersey incident where you had this one guy shoot up some small hats, and we don't even know the backstory of that, but first thing they said, these were Israelites that did it. And that devil Vocab Malone, he said, yeah, the Israelites did it. You can see that if you look closer, you can see the fringes. And we said, no, that wasn't us. If that's an Israelite, he's from another group. But it come to find out, I believe he was a former member of the ICGJC. So if you got a guy that's an Israelite and he's no longer Israelite, he becomes a Muslim, he does something crazy, you can't say, oh, see, he's an Israelite, because that's what they teach Israelites and people that come into Israel. That's this devil of Vocab Malone. And like I said, Vocab Malone has no power at all. So now we can ignore him. We don't have to go head to head with him. We don't have to discuss nothing. We don't have to debate. Look, we had discussions back and forth with that demon since 2016. So we're talking what? We're talking almost 9 years, because a couple of months, we're talking almost 9 years. So there's something that we miss, and we have to have another discussion. We don't got to have a discussion with that demon. Remember, he comes around us and he sends his flunkies around us because they need us. We don't need them. So call the cops on him. Then said David, I will show kindness unto Hanun, the son of Nahash, as his father showed kindness unto me. And David, and as his father, the king, showed kindness. Back then they were working together. They knew that they were different nations, but they were working together. David was working with other nations business-wise, and David sent to comfort him by the hand of his servants for his father. And David's servants came into the land of the children of Ammon. By the way, David's servants were Israelites. And the princes of the sons of Ammon, because if a king has 5 sons, they're all princes, right? But the oldest prince gets the kingship. That's why you got a lot of the younger prince tries to kill the older prince so he can become the king. Said unto Hunan, their lord, thinkest thou that David doeth honor thy father, that he have sent comforters unto thee. Oh, I guess Tazadakia was a comforter because he was a man. But comforter, depending on the context, the word comforter, if your wife comforts you, she's your comforter, right? The comforter in the book of John is talking about the spirit that comes with the scripture, the Holy Spirit, so you can understand. You being supping, the Lord supping with you. Revelation 3:19, I believe that is. Unto thee Have not David rather sent his servants unto thee to search the city and to spy out and to overthrow it? So David and the king of Moab that recently died, they work with each other. So the son said, man, I don't believe these people. Whereof Hunan took David's servants and shaved off the one half of their beards and cut off their garments in the midst, even to their buttocks, and sent them away. Now, if they cut half of your garment and your buttocks are showing, you can quickly go and get another garment, right? When they told it unto David, he sent to meet them, because the men were greatly ashamed, and the king, and it wasn't their doing. So you guys going to the barbershop said, oh, the old saying is, oh, I fell asleep in the barbershop chair. I'm fitting to sue the barbershop. And the king said, tarry or wait at Jericho until your beards be grown, and then return. But they could say, but it wasn't our fault. We didn't do that. We didn't do this. I don't want to hear that. You can't come back in it. You can't come back in amongst me. You can't come back around me, around the men of David. And when the children of Ammon saw that they stank before David, the children of Ammon sent and hired the Syrians, I believe that's Syrian, I'll look that up, of Beth Rehob, and the Syrians of Juba, 20,000 footmen, and the king of Makkah, 1,000 men, and of Ishtad, 12,000 men. And when David heard it, he sent Joab, and all the hosts of the mighty men. So it's about to be a war, because David wanted to show kindness unto this king of Moab, because they were friends. They were not of the same nation, okay? And the children of Ammon came out and put the battle in array at the entering into the gates, and the Syrians of Jobah and Rehob. So you can get the story. It says, 9th verse, and when Joab saw that the front of the battle was against him, before and behind, he chose of all the choice men of Israel, the real warriors, to put them in array against the Syrians. So there was a war over this Ammonite king's son being stupid and not, believing that David, he sent the men to spy out the land, where he was showing kindness. Okay, so you can read the rest of the story. It's not even long at all. And ultimately it says that the Syrians fled before Israel, because David was king at that time, and Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh was with David. And David slew the men of 700 chariots. So a lot of men were killed over the fact that this prince of Ammon decided to shave King David's men that came to show kindness and embarrass them. And a lot of people went into the spiritual realm of the Syrians, and 40,000 men. I'm sorry, let me read that again. And the Syrians fled before Israel, the army of Israel, and David slew the men. And David slew the men of 700 chariots of the Syrians. This is 700. This is a major war. And 40,000 men, and smote Shobach, the captain of their host, who died there. So there was captains, experienced military men that was put to death. All because this stupid Ammonite king, what he did. And with all the kings that were servants to Ammon, so Syrians learned to help the children of Ammon anymore. Right? It says they made peace. I'm sorry, I'm jumping around like that. I'm jumping around. And when all the kings that were servants to Hadar Razah saw that they were smitten, killed, took flight before Israel, Yasha Allah, they made peace with Israel and served them. So the Syrians feared to help the children of Ammon anymore. He said, look, we ain't gonna look. What this is what happened? Hold up. King David actually sent men to comfort you for your death of your father, and this is how you show your appreciation. You chop. This whole thing happens, and all these motherfuckers are dead because of your stupid ass. Look, don't call us no more for war. So that's the story, man. David didn't want to say. David didn't say, "Oh, that prince did that. You really didn't do it. You didn't have no control over it. You can come back into the city." No, he said, "Look, Terry and Jericho until your bears grow back." So you got guys, and this is happening too much. And I'm not relying on the elders of the various states because y'all allow this shit to go on. You got men that got lying. This obviously a lie. Like I said, when I first saw this, the first thing I said, "Oh wow, this is I said this is IUIC," because he's wearing the purple and the gold. And then I saw the hair. I said, "Well, that's a telltale sign. This the IUIC. They chop off half of their hair. They do this little shit right here. This is that little drug dealer rapper shit, Rick Ross bullshit, man. Them rappers be doing this shit. Matter of fact, let me do this. Yeah. You know what? Let me show you that IUIC is known for doing that. Because they're fucking hypocrites. They'll tell you to keep the law, but here they done broke the law by shaving half of their beards. That's worldly right there. So don't come out and speak no more. Whoever camp this is, they're not to come out and speak no more, do videos until they grow their hair back. And see, maybe his hair is like that, he's young, but this is obvious. This is obviously out of order. It's like this clown. It's like this demon. Oh, what was I gonna do? Oh, this is what I was gonna do. Let me go to pictures. Just want to show you something. Because IUIC says, see, they're getting on us for no reason. You get on the people about keeping the law and you breaking the law. That makes you a hypocrite. Like Hakar, the priest of On. That man has a bald head. He shaves his head bald on a regular. That's why he wears that bald cap. He shaves his head bald on a regular and lets the beard grow. Then he's a priest under the order according to the order, under the order of Melchizedek. So did Melchizedek have a bald head? Okay, so here we go. Where am I? Okay, here we go. So maybe this brother should join the IUIC. He got the garment. He got the garment. It's coming up in a minute. Look at that. The hell is this bullshit? The hell is this? Look at this. And if you notice, he got the long dreads, right? If you notice, he took the dreads and put them in the front to show people, yeah, look how long my dreads are. And and these hypocrites in the IUIC, they'll see somebody with a hat on, and they'll tell them to take the hat off for Christ. And then they'll quote the scripture, and they'll quote the scripture wrong, where it says a man's head shouldn't be covered while he's praying or prophesying. The guy in the audience ain't praying or prophesying. He's just in the audience. This guy, you can hardly see it. He got like a little line up, but you can't see it, right? All right. Let's do it this way. They'll tell you, where your fringes at? I'll say, where's the rest of your hair at? Where's your phylacteries at? Where's your paddle at? Look at this. This is clearly, he looked like he wore a stocking cap or a do-rag with some Vaseline on it. Look at that. You telling me that's how people, oh, he's a Gadite. Oh, he's a Reubenite. That's how his hair grows. No. The barber cut his hair that way. Put a razor right there. They sitting there, no, because they're allowed to do it because the leadership of the IUIC won't get on them. Jake like to test you, man. And that makes you, a lot of you elders in GMS, a bunch of hypocrites too. Look at that. Look at that. And this is the leader, the great lawgiver, Bishop Nate. Here he got a guy that's a reader, and he doesn't notice that this guy he got the short hair, he got a fade. He got a fade right there. At one point, when he was sitting in the barber's chair, he said, "Y'all know, just fade this out right here, right about here, brother." So these guys are a bunch of hypocrites, man. Well, he just naturally bald. Yawasop is good. Let me see here. And this is why they're waxing worse and worse, teaching that there's an actual hell. In Israel, Bishop Nate and Yawasop and Kanai Gabar, they were part of the original One West. They never taught no hell. Well, Yeshua used to bring it up, and Yeshua used to get checked. That's why Yeshua went back into the world, because he was not of the elect. He that endureth. See, now, he look a little like Charleston White. I don't know if this is, his hair he might be bald like that, so I don't know. So I'm not going to. Here we go. Let's see what this is all about. Look, come on now. This man, I don't know if he shaved the rest of his hair. He's going bald. He's good. Well, I don't know. He's got kind of fade. But look at this. He got the kind of like braided dreadlocks on the top. And then this is clearly a razor on his head. And it shows you the complete hypocrisy of the IUIC. They'll go out like that and tell, where your fringes at? Take your head off in the name of Christ. Complete hypocrisy. Look at this. Look at that. The reason why they do this, is because the leadership don't get on them about doing this, and that they can't. If they were of the house, which IUIC is not of the house of David, he's good, from what I see. There's been a razor put on his head. Been a razor put on his head. See some more. This is why they teach the new moon is the full moon. Look at that. Look at that. He got the braids. He got the razor. He got the razor. He got to pull them braids up so the barber could get to that part of his head. Complete hypocrisy. Sister, you supposed to be wearing a dress. The Sabbath is all wrong. The Sabbath is not a Friday sundown, a Saturday sundown. But there's other Israelite camps that teach that. Okay, I'm waiting for this to pop up. I guess they all fell asleep in the barber chair. I don't know if he checked, but he looked like he could be Deacon Hakar's brother. And Hakar, when you gonna answer me, bro? Are you just woke up one day and you're bald headed, but you got a full beard, or are you putting a razor to your head? Inquiring minds want to know. There we go. Now wait a minute, they're in the studio. There you go, you fade it up. Okay, let me see here. And what IUIC does, they get mad at us. They curse us out. They're clearly, people's hair don't naturally grow that way. You got hair on the top with some braids, and that's clearly shaved off. And I believe this dude is a rapper. Well, he got an excuse because he's getting married. Look at that. That's a little crown on his head. He got the fro, the natural. Cut it right here, right about here. Shave all this off. Don't hit this beard right here. You can cut around over here and get this back over here. Scriptures speak about having a form of godliness. Actually, that's verbatim. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power. I believe that says. I'll go ahead and read that. Look at that. You mean to tell me his hair grows like that? The angels cut his hair that way? The angels, them? This man went to the barber shop. The barber said, "What do you want?" He said, "Give me like a fade on this side and cut this part short. It's get a little too long. And give me that 5 o'clock shadow look." Look, there it goes again. This is a trend. This is a fashion trend. And he's clearly got a fade. Clearly. And there's that spirit of, I won't tell if you won't tell. Look at that. You mean to tell me his hair grow like that? That's a razor to his head. Shame, shame, shame. Hey, what does it say in Romans 2? And not too many words? You can't be an adulterer and call somebody, "You're an adulterer. You're committing the act of adultery." Okay. Okay, this is not so bad. I don't know. He looks natural. He's good. I can hardly see him. He's good, from what I can see. Look at this. So you mean to tell me an angel braid his cornrolled his hair? You know how you sit in between a woman's legs and they cornroll it? Because I remember years ago when I was a kid, this chick, you know, the older chick, they sit on the couch, and you in between her legs, the back of your head is touching her privacy, and she's cornrolling your hair, and she took a break, and when she came back, I took the braids out. I didn't like. I'm not a, and the cornrows came back late 60s, early 70s, and it was always a sister that braided your hair. So look at this. This guy's got a fresh cut. He probably tightens it up every week. He probably goes to the bar, spends all kind of money. He got the braids over here. He tells the barber, "Look, don't touch this right here. Come right about here and shave all this stuff off. But leave the beard, because I got to have a beard. But you can line it up over here." He got it too. It's in other words, it's suspect. So there's a lot of hypocrisy in Israel. And they're gonna, anytime you listen to any IUIC, they'll tell you to keep the laws, but they're not keeping the laws. Matthew 23. Matthew 23. Charlton White. Look at this. Can't you tell me no? That's how my hair grows. Okay. So this, like I said, maybe he should join the IUIC. You know, this is clearly a razor on his head, unless he has some type of condition that it grows that way, which I don't think so. So if you guys, will we order House of David? No, you're not at the House of David. If you like this, because if David was here, what would he do? He would tell his guys, "Look, man, go home, come back when you grow your beards." Oh, let's open this up here. Okay, this is a nice short one. GMS South Carolina 08. Oh, and by the way, you might say, the elder out of what is it? South GMS South Carolina. I don't know why I said North Carolina. He looks like he has a bald head. He did a video showing that his hair is not, the razor never touched his head. He did a video years ago because they were saying, "Well, what about you? You put a razor." He said, "Nope." He did a video. He showed his hair. He said it's cut short, but he doesn't put a razor on his head. So now let's open this up.
Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.
Now, I don't know what this is all about. I just saw the notification. It says, real men have one wife, not thoughts or side pieces. Well, David, according to that, David is not a real man. Solomon is not a real man. You men that's in the kingdom, you're not real men. You got to have one wife. So they teach what they want to teach. Go back to Matthew chapter 23. They say do and do not.
Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And this video will be entitled Response. Real men have one wife, not thoughts or side pieces. But what about concubines? Do real men have concubines, which is a wife of lesser status?
Yeah, David had concubines. David had wives. Solomon had wives and concubines. And while David had these wives and concubines, it was said that he was a man after the Most High's heart. The Most High was well pleased with David. David wasn't even put to death by the Most High for committing the act of adultery and murder, setting the man's the husband of Bathsheba up. He didn't actually kill him, but he set him up to be killed, put him on the front line. Well, you guaranteed to get killed, man. So this is complete hypocrisy right here. These are the go along to get along Israelites.
Anyway, this is another bonehead statement by IUIC. This time, IUIC Oklahoma. This guy you see on the screen, I think he goes by the name of Abiel.
He used to be Abba Ya'ala. That was prior to, I believe, 2010. Because we watch all their videos. He used to have a YouTube page, and a YouTube page was Abba Ya'ala, which is a so-called Paleo-Hebrew, ancient Hebrew. Then he changed the name to Abba Yel. And they'll say El when you come across the word, Israel, that is El, that you say El. And that's during the same time period where Bishop Nathaniel called a meeting asking the congregation, it was relatively small at that time, not to use the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, use the name Christ. Because I remember you had Abba Ya'ala and Kanai Gabar. They used to be together. It was before this was when they were small. It was in 08, 09. And when they would be teaching, they would have the sign out there, and they would call on the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, both of them. I remember Yahweh Shai, before Bishop Nate had called that meeting saying, we're going to agree not to use the name of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, which when that happens, that's a red flag. I said, why all of a sudden, a week before that, we were calling on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Now we can't call his name. And every once in a while, Bishop Nate will call on the name Yahweh. But then he'll go back to saying Christ. When he got out the hospital, when he's in his deathbed, his words, he said he was he almost died. That means you in a deathbed. So he, obviously the Most High pulled him up out the deathbed, gave him his health back. That was the Passover of 2022. So he was in that bed. He was bedridden during 2021, and he called on the name Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, and Kanai did the same thing. Then he went right back to calling on the name of Christ. So that not only did they say we're not going to use the names Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, but if you have a Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, you got to change that name. The only one that didn't, there may be more, is Yahweh Sap. Yahweh Sap is Paleo, ancient Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew, so you can understand. He's still called Yahweh Sap. And Bishop Nate said many years ago, he said that the so-called ancient Hebrew is Ebonics. So I guess Yahweh Sap got an Ebonic name. The complete hypocrisy. And they'll tell you to keep the laws, but then they'll say a real man only has one wife. Well, the scriptures say you can have more than one wife. It says in the law, if you hate one wife and love the other. When King David, I'm not bringing out a lot of scriptures, but I'm quoting a lot of scriptures. When King David committed the act of adultery and then murder, set the man up to be killed, the Most High told him, he said, look, if you wanted how did he say? He says such and such, such and such. If you put in such and such, it will come up. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that. He was talking about anything that you wanted. You didn't have to commit adultery. If you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. So I guess David is not a real man. And in the kingdom, we're not going to be real men. I'm sorry. That's a C. Such and such. I'm reading the NLT. Isaiah 4 verse 1 is talking about now. It ain't talking about the kingdom. Well, it's going to continue in the kingdom. And David said unto him, Bill the priest, I said, okay, I'll go right to the point. 2 Samuel 12 verse 8, and I gave thee thy masters. This is after Bathsheba. The Most High sent Nathan to curse him out. And so the Most High spoke through Nathan the prophet, and this is what he said. He said, and I gave thee, this is the Most High, Yahweh speaking, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai speaking. I gave thee thy master's house and thy master's wives into thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given you thee such and such things. So what was he talking about when he said, I'll give you such and such thing? He was talking about anything that you wanted, including women. If you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. Let me do this. Let me highlight this. Check this. Nathan rebukes David. He goes into the story of the poor man with the lamb, and the lamb represents Bathsheba. So this rich man, this man that had great flocks, which represented King David, took this man's ewe lamb, which is his woman. He only had one woman, and you took it, and meanwhile you had women already. So when it says I would have gave you such and such, what was he talking about? Anything that he wanted, including women. If you wanted more women, I would have gave you more women. So IUIC is a walking contradiction. Hey, the scripture says in 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. 13 and 5. It says, examine yourself. These guys don't examine themselves, man. They go along to get along. It said, I gave you your master's house and his wives and the kingdom of Israel and Judah. And if that had not been enough, I would have given you much, much more. Now it says wives, right? And I was talking about Saul. So, anyway, let's come back over here.
Right? One of the, I guess you would say a key figure in IUIC. I don't know if he's a key figure, if that's the right phrase to use. Anyway, I think this guy, I'm sure it's his account, IUIC Oklahoma. Real men have one wife, not thoughts or side pieces. Now this was, and I'm just not saying that this was from 2 years ago.
And by the way, this is called indoctrination, indoctrinating them into their form of Israelism. I'll use that word. And they did a class on that. You can see if you got 3 wives, you got trouble with it. Look, you have trouble with 1 wife. Paul said that.
Oklahoma, October 24, 2022. But recently it resurfaced. And brothers been kind of discussing it between us all day long. All right. And this is coming from guys who fancy themselves as these major law keepers and all of this. But in the law, it tells you that you can have concubines, that you can have more than 1 wife in the law. You have to be careful out there. Just a word of caution to different brothers, right? When you get ready to follow the truth, you got to make sure that you don't make your desires or the desires of others, don't try to make that into a doctrine. Because we realize that one of the main teachings that the world, the women of the world, and worldly people in general, one of the main teachings, not the main one, but one.
I'm surprised they ain't telling the congregation to vote for Kamala Harris.
Of them that the world has a problem with is the notion of.
And Kamala Harris, I got a feeling that they're gonna do a little slick one, and they're gonna say the new president of the United States. Come on, I said this place is done, and I see a civil war down the pike, because these Christian identity, KKK, Edomites from down south and Midwest, that all of them own guns. Their mama own gun, their grandmama own guns. The children, when they're 5 years old, they get their first rifle. Most of these experts, I guess the highest thing of shooting in the military is expert, and some of them become snipers. The American Sniper they showed you this story. Watch the movie. Good movie. When he was a kid, he was shooting deer when he was like 5 years old. So he'd been shooting for all of his life.
More than 1 wife. The so-called black woman hates it. Israelite women hate it. For the most part. We know the so-called white.
So coming back to American Sniper and Esau, having guns and so forth, because they live in states, open carry states, and the Democrats are against guns. So if the good old boys decide to take these people out, these Democrats out, the Democrats are going to lose big time. This country's going to, and what about somebody might say, well, what about Donald Trump? Look, this place is done. I don't care if they got the science to raise George Washington back. I don't give a damn if they can raise up a fucking Lincoln or Kennedy. They can have a triumvirate. They raise up George Washington, Lincoln, and Kennedy. But Kennedy and Lincoln are the same people. Andrew Jackson, they raised 3 of them up. This motherfucker, anybody that's that want to be the president, like you got the nominee, and you got Kamala Harris, which she's a candidate, meaning she didn't have to. The nominee means you have a set of candidates, and one emerges as the nominee. She's not a nominee. She'll tell you. She says, "I'm a candidate." So they just put her up in there because she was the vice president, man. But if she becomes the vice president, Esau is going to be mad. I see there being a civil war, but that's what the scriptures say. That's what Jacob's trouble. Things are going to get hot out there. And if you are protected by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushua, you're good. And then in the midst of all that, they're gonna demand everybody to get a microchip. They're gonna do away with the whole money system. No paper dollars. The only digital dollars you can have is a blockchain that's set up by the government. They're gonna take over all these banks are going under because there's gonna be one central bank. and everything's going to be digital. I went to BJ's and I have a like a preloaded card that I use. What is it called? Net Spend or something like that. That's a fucking good card. Cause they hacked it a couple of years ago, and then people, I called them and they said, "Oh, we'll do an investigation. In the meanwhile, we'll put the money back in." I said, "No, you don't got to put the money back in." But anyway, about maybe a month later, they said you can still use the card. They gave me a new card. They gave me extra money, and then they said they came back and said we did the investigation. Somebody did hack your card, so you good, but you got a new card now. So they're just like a debit card, but I also have a debit card. So if I cash out at like let's say at BJ's, I go there every couple of days. I cash out at BJ's. And I can't hit cash. I'll just go to my debit card or a credit card or whatever. So that's why they do that. They don't give you the cash option all the time. They give it to you sometimes, but they mostly give you that card, the digital option, because they're getting people used to doing things digital.
Man, Esau, he hates it because he would rather see two men get married than so-called married. He'd rather see two men together than a man having more than one wife. I wonder why the world thinks that it's okay if and you people are hypocrites. You so-called black women, black men out there, you're a bunch of goddamn hypocrites, because here it is, a guy can be a rapper and have all kind of money, and the woman will be okay with that man having more than one woman. You even go get him a woman and bring her back. So your nasty asses can have a threesome, but as soon as a righteous man say it's a righteous thing for a man to have more than one wife, now you got a problem with it. We've all seen growing up athletes, other sports figures, other entertainment figures, celebrities have one woman on each arm, and the women be totally fine with it. But as soon as a regular man that's a righteous guy says that he can have more than one wife, all y'all throw a fit like it's the worst thing in the world.
And it's clearly against Scripture. It's clearly against Scripture. Let me do this. Give you a couple of precepts here. I should go to Isaiah. I'm going to go to Isaiah. Isaiah 4 in the NLT. In that day, it's not talking about the kingdom. It's going to happen before the kingdom. In that day, in that day, so few men will be left. Wow, that 7 women will fight for each man. 7 women shall fight for each man. That's not talking about the kingdom. Saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name, so we won't be mocked as old maids. So there's not going to be no old maids in the kingdom, and your wives, your 7 women that shall take hold of one man, are not going to be working in the. So you mean to tell me it's in the same verse? So you mean to tell me in the kingdom, our women going to have 9 to 5s? Who are they going to be working for? Elam? This is going to take place on this side. Let me do this. Oh, Jacob. Jacob had how many women? How many wives did he have? Because concubines is also considered wives or concubines. Wife just means woman. The word wife in the Bible, the word is ayasha, which means woman. That's all it means. It's a feminine man. Man in Hebrew is ash. Woman in Hebrew is ash and asha, woman. I can show you that. Let me go to the word wife. So it's a sin and it's wicked if you do it on this side, but in the kingdom, it's all right. Okay, join his wife. Let's see what it says. Okay, so the word there is asha, which is woman, wife, female, female. One of the words is also concubine. Okay, here it is. Ayash. Ayash is man. They say ash, ayash. Let's look up the word ayash. It means man. So it should be ayasha. Ayasha, not asha. It should be ayasha. Blue letter went off again. So man, ayash, in the feminine sense, would be ayasha. Come on back.
Now you got these Israelites who are pandering, posing, bending over backwards to try to make these fucking women be happy by telling them you going against the word of truth so they can be happy because they got a problem with a man having more than one wife. Now, we'll say this. GMS, we don't push men having multiple wives, all these different women, because we are...
Yeah, if a man in GMS has a wife, he should have one wife. If he happens to have two wives, two wives and a side chick, that's none of my business. That's his business.
Focused on preaching the gospel, teaching the word, right? However, it's not against the law if a man has more than one wife, more than one woman, whatever. It's not against the law. But for the times that we living in...
Because if it was against the law, you'd have pulled that law up. You can only have one wife. Here's the scripture on it. You know where they go to? Of all scriptures, they go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7. But in that same chapter, it says, and they break that down wrong. Kanai broke that down completely wrong. Talking about it's not good for a man to touch a woman. Now, what does that mean? It's not good for a man to touch a woman that's married to another man. That's what it means. That's what that means. And then it says, to avoid fornication, which is adultery, let him have his own wife. It said one. That's what Paul said. But if he had two wives, Paul couldn't tell him a damn thing. And then that same chapter, it's further down, it says... it speaks about a man having an unbelieving wife and a woman having an unbelieving husband. That if they please to dwell with you, then you're not supposed to put them out. So, but they'll tell them, look, if they're not in the truth, you give them 6 months. Now they push it up to the year. So, okay, so they're listening to you. They push it up to a year from what I understand. Let's say 9 months, the Lord come. That guy's going straight to hell because you niggas teach that there's a hell. You guys are waxing worse and worse. And people don't see that. Jake don't see that because they see the purple and the gold. They see the marching. They see you out there, cleaning up leaves in the community, going to Africa, building schools. So they see them outward works. But then you teach them the scriptures the way you want to teach them the scriptures. It says, their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Let's go to that. Their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. Now, it's in the Old and the New Testament. I really wanted the Old Testament. But it's mentioned also in the New Testament. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and click on this. Wherefore the Lord said, for much as this people draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me, but have removed their hearts far from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men, meaning your rules, or you can only have one wife. They allow you to line up your hair. You can be bald headed. You can grow long dreads. When the Apostle Paul says it's a shame for a man to have long hair. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a precept of men. Let me do this. Precept of men. Let me do this. Copy. Let me come on back. Precept of men. Precept of men. Let's see what comes up. Okay, Matthew. This is what I wanted. So I got in the New Testament. So this is in the book of Matthew, reiterating what Isaiah said. Okay, let me do this. All right. No, not Isaiah. I didn't want Isaiah. I wanted Matthew. Let me bring this back. Scripture said the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. And nobody in IUIC will come up against the leadership because they know they'll get kicked out. They'll get cursed out. Okay, let me do it this way. Their worship, I'm sorry, this is in the NLT. Matter of fact, let me read it. Their worship is a farce, for they teach man-made ideas as commands from God. Oh, you can only have one wife. Let's go to that in the King James. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines. They have their own doctrines. The commandments of men. Their fear toward the Most High is the commandments of men. Their fear towards me is of the commandments of men. It said, you are hypocrites. Tradition speaks about tradition, which is not. Them wicked scribes and Pharisees took tradition and said that that's law. No, that's not law. You know, the washing of hands and so forth, that was tradition. That's not in the law. Let's come back over here.
And now it's not expedient. Let's go there real quick. Meaning it's not convenient. It's not conducive to teaching the word. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 12. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. Just because the law says you can do something doesn't mean that you should. However, it doesn't mean that also that it's not.
It's not expedient to kill a moe. You know, it's not expedient to kill a woman caught in the act of adultery. If you're a part of the congregation, because you're under this man's system. So there's certain things you can't. So all you guys that say you got to keep the whole law, you ain't keeping the whole law, man. I'm sure a lot of you, men and women in IUIC and whatever camp, at GMS, whatever, that you might have a daughter that been sleeping around. You're supposed to put them to death. Can you do that in a society? They'll throw you under the jail. So you ain't keeping all the laws, man.
Not that is unlawful. Just because something is lawful doesn't mean you should do it in this time, but that in no way means that it's against the law. All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. 1 Corinthians 10:23. All things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. Just because it's allowable doesn't mean that it's right for you. The main focus in our lives is the preaching and the teaching of the gospel. Pumping these videos out, looking for, you're making sure that the elect is getting edification or that they're even found and awakened. That's our main focus. But while that is our main focus, it doesn't mean that we're going to look at things that are lawful and say that they're not lawful because we don't agree with them. The apostles of GMS, I'm going to say it again, they have told brothers time and again, this is no time to be multiplying wives, having all the women, but we're not going to tell you that it's not in the law, that men can have more than one wife, because it is. It's in the law. These guys, they're leaning on their, really they ain't even leaning on their own understanding. They love to they want to make sure that they keep the females happy so they can keep that revenue stream coming in, because a great portion of their revenue comes from women. And you're not going to be able to attract that as many women if you tell them that their men can have more than one wife. Now, this dude says real men have one wife. So that means if men had more than one wife, that means they wasn't real men. What about Abraham? Abraham had concubines. He had Hagar. He had Sarah. Then he had other concubines as well. What about Jacob? What about King David? What about King Solomon? And many other kings of Israel had more than one wife openly. And they had concubines. King Solomon had 1,000 women. And he was regarded as the wisest Israelite ever to live. King David was a man after the Most High's own heart. And King David had wife after wife after wife and concubines. You saying he wasn't a real man? This is all that. And look, like I said in the chat.
Yeah, it says in the Apocrypha in Ecclesiasticus, you can start, I believe it's the 41st chapter, 40th, 40th, 41st, 42nd, 43rd, 44th, or whatever, where it says, let us now honor great men. So they mentioned David and Solomon. So those men that were considered great men, let us remember or honor these great men. All these great men had more than one wife. Abraham had Sarah. Abraham was laying with Sarah's concubine. Sarah's maiden, which made her concubine to Abraham, which was Hagar. Then he had 6 sons by Keturah. Jacob had 4 women, and 2 of them were sisters. So, what the hell are you talking about, man? King David, as the elder just said, not King David, but Solomon had 1,000 women. David had many wives.
To the brothers. A dude, look, if you got a wife that you love, you find the love of your life, right? Nobody touch it the way she do or whatever it is. She can make the best apple pie. That's good for you. But don't turn around and turn that into a doctrine just because you met the love of your life and that's your soul.
And that's part of their doctrine. Scriptures speak about having itching ears. Let me see if I can find that. Give me a second. Oh, no. Let me do this. Let me do this. Give me a bunch of precepts. Sound doctrine. Sound meaning healthy. IUIC is not teaching sound doctrine. 1 Timothy 1 verse 10, for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, and man stealers, slave owners, for liars, for perjured persons, liars, and if there be any other contrary to sound doctrine. 2 Timothy 4 verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts, their fare towards me are taught by the precepts of men. This comes from the leader. The leader says it, the rest of y'all got to blindly follow. Shall they heap to themselves teachers having what? Itching ears. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to probably go to the Bible Hub. Titus 1 verse 9, holding fast the faithful word as he hath been taught, as he hath been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayer. Titus 2 verse 1. But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine. So what the IUIC teaches is not sound doctrine. When you tell brothers you can only have one wife, that's not sound doctrine. If a guy has more than one wife, you kick him out the school. And he's not breaking any laws. Y'all kicked us out. I'm talking about the house of David kicked us out because we said Cornelius was an Israelite. And now y'all teach it. Shortly thereafter, y'all teach it. So that shows that. So that really y'all just wanted us out. The wickedness is coming back. Just when you thought you was out, they pull you back in. So you guys, hey, Michael Corleone, he was trying to be this decent guy, but his roots was based upon the mafia, man. You gonna try to put a suit on and hang around with Edomites and so forth, like you got your riches honestly. You got your riches wickedly through your father, man. You should watch that movie. That's a good movie. You watch all three of them. Godfather 2, and Godfather 3. And I think I have all three of them. I got DVDs, which I went out and purchased. All right. Let me see where's I gonna go. Okay, I said I was gonna go to the Bible Hub just to see what they say. Yeah, this place, you can see that this place is going down. This place is done. Hey, America is pretty much Ali the night that he fought Larry Holmes. He's all saying rah stuff. He was getting the crowd ready. And he made people believe that he can beat Larry Holmes. I said, man, Larry Holmes gonna beat this. Hey, the same thing. When Mike Tyson fought Lennox Lewis, remember when they had the face off? Lennox Lewis jumped all up in his face. The reason why Tyson jumped in his face, he was trying to sabotage that fight. He didn't want that fight to happen because he was scared. You scared of the black man. He was scared. He cursing out the white boy, talking about and Mike Tyson is a mo too. He's probably at them. Well, he was probably at them Diddy parties too. Denzel was at them Diddy parties talking about he left early. Denzel didn't leave early. Okay. Listen to Ellie Carter, that chick that was all caught up as a child, and they do it through the foster care, man. Them kids that come out the foster care, they all fucked up, man. I know, because I have friends that were in the foster homes, man. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can. Okay, let me try this. Sound doctrine, where it's, but after this, their own lust. Each man tempted when he is. I want the part where it says itching ears. Okay, having itching ears. And ambiguous rendering. Ambiguous meaning, you can look it up. Meaning, you might, a lawyer uses legalese, and they use a lot of big words, and it's ambiguous. You gotta tell them, you gotta be, the opposite of that is inambiguous, meaning give it to me in plain English. It says, but the original is clear. The nominative case showing that it is the pupils. See, this is ambiguous right here. Not the pupils, not the teachers who have the pupils, the students, not the teachers who have itching ears. Meaning, give to us smooth things. Tell us. We like the high top fades, so tell us we can have high top fades, or pretend that you don't see it. Have teachers having itching ears. Teachers having itching ears. Let me open that up. Then I'm gonna get ready to close. See, in the morning I got all this in me, all this fire up in me. There's fire up in me. Oh, this place is getting ready to, like I said, if Kamala I don't care if Bonnie the Purple Dinosaur becomes the president. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn if Hitler come back from the grave and I don't give a damn who become the president, man. This place is done. You're interviewing for a job to be the captain of the Titanic while it's sinking. That either if it's Trump or if it's Kamala, you're becoming the captain of the Titanic as it's sinking. Now, we don't know if the Lord's going to take this place out inside of the next 4 years. It could be 6 years from now. But I'm almost positive the way the world affairs are going on, geopolitical sense, that shit is going to happen, man. America can't stop Israel from attacking Iran. That's Third World War right there. They don't realize Russia is backing Iran and China is backing Russia. Look, North Korea, they sent, 10,000 troops over to Russia to fight in Ukraine. So they want to close that lid, so to speak. Itching ears. Let's look up the word itching ears. Having itching. Okay. To scratch, tickle, make, to itch, desirous of hearing something pleasant. Right. Desiring of hearing something pleasant. Don't tell me that my mother, which is an Edomite, my father's a Jake. Don't tell me my mother is going to be a slave in the kingdom. So we want to hurt this guy's feeling. We say, yeah, your mother's going to make it in the kingdom too. She ain't going to make, she's making it in the kingdom. She's making it in the kingdom as a slave. Just come on back.
Oh, mate, and you happy with that. Don't turn around and tell the rest of the brothers, or make it into a thing where you frown down upon men that have more than one wife. You just say you love your one wife and you satisfied with her and you don't want to be with nobody else. But don't try to put it on everybody else, because now you're going off. You adding.
Yeah, because it's none of your business what a man does outside of his household. As long as it's law, if he's committing adultery, then you deal with him. You kick him out. But you kick guys out if they got 3 women. 3 of them, they're not in the truth either. Hey, if you got 1 woman and she's a Baptist, she don't want to be in Israel, you got to cut her off. If you got children, then you, that's what 1 Corinthians chapter 7 is all about. It speaks about the children.
Into the scriptures. Really, it's just a post, you know. But they do teach that. IUIC does teach that a man.
They were teaching it last Saturday. You got to have 1 woman.
I'm supposed to have 1 wife. Now,
and there's all kind of adultery going on in that school, man.
Some of them will. Let's see if I can find the script.
They don't vet them guys. Hey, this is why we don't have no. A lot of these guys go to these churches and these schools. Women, it's something to do, you know. Like certain jakes, they'll go out bowling on Thursday night bowling. They go to the baseball games or whatever. They play bridge. Let's get together and play bridge. Niggas like to play spades, especially you niggas from down south. I hate spades, man. I hate card games. I hate sitting down at the table playing games, man. I hate checkers. I hate chess. I hate all that shit. But anyway, that's why they come to them, them IUIC school, because it's over there. I can bring the kids and they got these events going and everything's wonderful, and I might be able to find a man.
Scripture. Let's see here. 1 wife. Let's grab that, because that's the first thing somebody gonna say. You have to look up words, right? This is 1 Timothy 3 and verse 2. I'm gonna start at 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth the good work. Who is a bishop? The bishop is a leader, right? Let's look the word up. Don't take my word for it.
And the Nate is slick because he calls some guys bishops. He said, you're a bishop and you're a deacon. Because it says a bishop can only have 1 wife and a deacon can only have 1 wife. So that's why he doesn't call them captains and generals and this, that, and the third. Prophets or whatever. He calls them bishops and deacons. If you accepted the rank of being a bishop, you can only have 1 wife. So Nate was being slick. We call him what do you call him? Oil. What's his name? Oil can Harry. Slick 50. It was a additive for your cars. I guess it started messing up engines. They went out of business, and it helps your engine. It was called Slick 50. So we could deem you with another name, give you another name, dob you with another name, Nate, aka Slick 50, aka Oil Can Harry.
And y'all bear with me here. See what a bishop is, because every brother is not a bishop. Episcopo is the word in the Greek, and it says visitation, bishopric, office of a bishop. Number 1, the act by which the Most High looks. No. 2, definition 2.1, overseership, office, charge.
Perfect example of a bishop would be Yikwa, because Yikwa was always at the school. The first day I was on a Wednesday, which was his class. The first guy that I met at the school, he was there. It was before the class started, and he was a teacher. And I found out that was High Priest Ariel's father, and this, that, and the other. He was a bishop. He was always at the school.
The office of an elder, the overseeing or presiding officers of it says a Christian church, which really is an Israelite church.
Yeah, bishop kept the temple in order.
So really, the bishop is like the man that's over things. So it's really like a head.
And a bishop is not a prophet. A bishop is not necessarily a prophet. A bishop is on the church. Look, the Apostle Paul was not a bishop. The Apostle Peter, the rest of the 12 were not bishops. They were apostles. And then after apostles, you had prophets. Then you had evangelists.
So this is what it's to. This is who it's talking about. I ain't talking about every brother. But even then, it's not against the law, even if a bishop has more than 1 wife, but it's told to him, let's read it. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth the good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior.
Well, it makes sense that a bishop had one wife because his mindset's supposed to be into the church, into the temple, not having a bunch of women. Because you have, I know that for a fact. You have a woman, and you have maybe 2 women on the side. That shit, you got to cut some of them women, 2 of them women off, or 1 of them off, because they want too much. They want your time, man. Oh, I want to. You never. Or like, hey, you never take me out on a Saturday because I go on Saturday or Sundays or whatever. Because I go out speaking. Well, you got to look, maybe I'll take you out on a Monday or Tuesday, whatever. Tuesdays and Wednesdays. No, but you gotta. I had arguments about this. You gotta take me out on a Saturday. That's some demons, man.
Given the hospitality, apt to teach, right? Every brother is not a bishop. So don't turn around and say that men can only have one wife and that's it. All men are not bishops, right?
That's why Nate makes these guys, okay, you're a bishop. Okay, you're a deacon. Because a deacon is like a lower ranking bishop. Deacons eventually become bishops in the church. We're talking about in the church, in a demonic church. So a bishop and a deacon, they should only have one wife. So that's, like I said, that's why he labels them. The highest rank you can get is bishop or deacon.
And there's other things going on there. And even inside of that, like we said, it's not against the law for a man that's the bishop to have more than one wife. But these people that are so embedded with the law this, the law that, the law, they be the main damn ones who don't keep the law. Okay.
The affair toward me are taught by the precept of men. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. You can watch the rest of this video. Shalom.